Hello all, myself Vedangi and I am a legal internet Lexicon company. So guys, my another topic for today's discussion is the case analysis of MC Mehta versus Union of India. So let's begin. So the case of MC Mehta is also known as the oleum gas leak case, and this case was the most landmark case that posed a change in the scenario of environmental laws in our country. The petitioner in this case was MC Mehta and the respondents were Union of India and others. Now talking about the background of this case, so Shriram Food Fertilizers Industries was basically a Delhi based cloth mill that was engaged in manufacturing chlorine and oleum. And also the company was based in Delhi and the manufacturing units of this industry was occupied by densely populated areas. So MC Mehta, an attorney, he filed a writ petition under Article 32 against the industries for seeking a direction for the closure of these industries as they posed a serious threat and danger to the human life. Also, the Delhi Legal Aid and the Delhi Bar Association they filed applications for the award of the compensation to the people who had suffered harm and injury from the leakage of oleum gas from such industries. A three-judge bench of the Supreme Court permitted Shriram Food Fertilizers to start its plants by taking into consideration certain conditions and certain measures. However, it referred to the application of the awarding of compensation to a larger bench of 5 judges as it involved the following issues of constitutional measures, constitutional importance. Now, there were certain legal issues that were involved in this case. First one was whether letters addressed even to an individual judge can be entertained. Second one was what is the scope and the ambit of jurisdiction of the Supreme Court under Article 32. Third one was whether Article 21 is available against Shriram Food Fertilizers or not. And the fourth one was what is the measure of the liability of an enterprise which is engaged in the hazardous activities. So there were certain arguments that were included in this case. Shriram Food Fertilizers argued by saying that the court should not proceed to decide these constitutional issues since the writ petition did not make any claim for the compensation. Also, they submitted that the escape of oleum gas took place subsequently to the filing of the writ petition, and they also contended that the control of the regulation of the private corporation functions by a state under statutory law is the only power of regulation by the state. On the other hand, the petitioner argued that a sizable aid of loans, land and other facilities were granted by the government to Shriram Food and Fertilizers Industries for carrying on their activities, and therefore if any enterprise is controlled and regulated by the state, then it would be subjected to the same constitutional measures, the same constitutional restraint as that of the state. Now, what was the judgment in this case? So, Chief Justice P.N. Bhagwati, he showed concern towards the people who were affected by such accident of leakage of hazardous substance, leakage of oleum gas from the industry. He was of the opinion that yes, we cannot adopt the policy to do away with the chemical or hazardous industries because they help in improving the quality of the life, as in this case the Shriram Food and Fertilizers was involved in manufacturing and providing the chlorine and the oleum. And also they said that the chlorine is basically used to maintain the wholesomeness of drinking water. So these industries, even though they are hazardous, still they have been set up so as to improve and so as to maintain the economical development of our country, also for the advancement of the well-being of the people. So the Supreme Court was of the opinion that complete closure of such industries can pose a serious threat to our economy. Also, if they close and they put a complete ban on such industries, then around 40,000 of people will get unemployed, as a result of which poverty will increase. Therefore, the court made an order to open the factory subject to certain rules and regulations and conditions, with respect to which the government formulated some conditions. First one was that the Central Pollution Control Board needs to appoint an inspector to inspect and to see the pollution standards that were set up under the Water Act and the Air Act. Also, the Workers' Safety Committee needs to be formulated, and also industry needs to publicize the effects of chlorine and the treatment of the chlorine, and they need to train the workers in the plant safety through some programs, and also they need to train the workers to use belts and masks while dealing in hazardous activities. The court also directed the Shriram Food and Fertilizers to deposit rupees 20 lakhs and to furnish a bank guarantee of 15 lakhs to pay the compensation to the victims of the oleum gas if there was any escape of such gas within 3 years from the date of order, resulting in death or injury to any person or any workman of that industry. Then the quantum of compensation shall be at the discretion of the district judge of the Delhi. It also showed that the court made the industry absolutely liable for the compensation to be paid if any person is injured as a result of the leakage of the oleum gas. And also the industries cannot defend themselves by claiming that they were not negligent for this act, and they were very careful in handling the industry and in handling the activities. They cannot escape from the liability of paying compensation to the affected and injured people. Also, on the issue of the scope and the ambit of the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court under Article 32, which says that Article 32 lays down a constitutional obligation on the court to protect the fundamental rights. So, the Supreme Court also held that its power under Article 32 includes not only preventing the infringement of the fundamental rights that have already been committed. So, the Supreme Court observed that it had expanded the horizon of Article 12 primarily to inject respect to the human rights and the dignity of the people, and also it included those private corporations whose activities have the potential to cause serious harm and danger to the health of the people, and considered that within the ambit of Article 12 and also to the provisions of the Article 21. So in this case we can conclude that even if there was no negligence on the part of that industry and they take proper care and caution, still they will be held liable for that if they are involved in any hazardous activity, and they cannot take the defense of the strict liability. So guys, that's all about my discussion on this particular topic. I hope you all liked my video. If you guys have any doubt with regard to this video to the previous one, then you can comment in the comment section, and also don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel Lex Click. Till then, bye.